Good afternoon. My name is Gladys Hurwitz, and I'm the Multimodal Transportation Specialist at the Maryland Department of Transportation and moderator for this session on incenTrip. This session is being recorded and will be posted on our website, commuterchoicemaryland.com. We're going to start this presentation off by introducing you to Commuter Choice Maryland. Commuter Choice Maryland plays a key role in helping to meet the Maryland Department of Transportation's mission by enhancing employer and commuter awareness of the variety of transportation options, including telework, compressed work week, transit, ride sharing, as well as commuter benefits programs. These options help to balance the transportation demand across our roadways, transit systems, walk, and bikeways throughout the state. Commuter Choice Maryland also provides complimentary consultations to employers starting or enhancing their workplace transportation and commuter benefits programs. One of our goals is to make it easy for your employees to find affordable, convenient, and sustainable ways to get to work that enhances their quality of life while helping to attract and retain talent. We are pleased to share information on our new Commuter Choice Maryland Employer Partner Program that seeks to recognize Maryland employers and organizations for their leadership in offering transportation benefits and creative program incentives to their employees. Any business, organization, or public-private entity located in Maryland is eligible to participate in this exciting employer partner program. When your organization becomes a partner, you'll gain access to the full suite of services that Commuter Choice Maryland offers, including complimentary guidance support, customized transportation plan, assistance with a complimentary travel behavior survey, as well as an opportunity to be featured as a success story on webinars such as this one. You'll also have the opportunity to reach thousands of your fellow employers in Maryland via our website, newsletter, and social media posts. Here's a preview of the custom workforce transportation plan and employee survey that a Commuter Choice Maryland representative can help you complete. This documents recommendations and provides direction that specifically aids with implementation for your organization. Among our featured success stories, we have partners throughout the state, including the University of Maryland, Yakibad, Frederick County, Live Casino and Hotel, Morgan State University, Sumeco, IOPA, and many others. So what do you need to do to become a partner? It's very simple. Visit our website and complete the short registration form. We ask that you share information on the types of transportation options you have available to your employees, and then annually agree to update your information on what may have changed with your commuter benefits terms. Then get access to all the partner benefits. Before we go to our incenTrip presentation, I'm just going to go ahead and start a poll. Our poll question is, would you try an alternative to driving alone to work, such as ride sharing, biking, or walking, if a cash incentive was available? The choices are yes, no, or that you're already commuting via alternative ways with no incentives. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll. Give you guys a couple seconds to register your choice. If given the opportunity for a cash incentive, would you try an alternative to driving alone to work? Okay, looks like about half of you guys have registered your vote. I'll give you guys a couple more seconds to think about it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and close this poll and share the results with you. So it's actually an overwhelming 100% of you would try an alternative drive to work, driving alone to work, alternative driving alone, if a cash incentive was available. So you're actually in the right webinar for today. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest speaker. Dr. Chengfeng Shang is an associate research professor in the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering at the University of Maryland, College Park. and an associate professor at the Shock Trauma and Anesthesiology Research Center in the School of Medicine at the University of Maryland, Baltimore. He holds a master's degree in economics and a PhD degree in transportation engineering from the University of Maryland. Dr. Shang's research is focused on travel behavior modeling, transportation systems analysis, modeling and simulation, and its applications in smart mobility and health. He has published over 70 peer-reviewed journals and conference papers on these topics. Dr. Zhang is also a recipient of the 2019 Outstanding Young Research Award of International Association of Public Transport, the Young Initiatives Award of World Conference on Transportation and Research Society, and several Best Paper Awards from international conferences. So with that, I'll turn that over to you, Dr. Shang.
All right, thank you so much, Gladys, for the introduction. And thank you also for inviting me to this webinar. It is really my great pleasure and honor to be able to speaking here about this incenTrip, which is a collaboration between our university, our project group, and the Maryland Department of Transportation. We are very excited to be able to working on this project. Actually, in the past several years, we spent a lot of effort advocating fighting congestions via incentives, using information provision and gamification, as stated by this title. And we're excited also to see we have started the soft launch of incenTrip in Maryland, which you will hear more about information in today's webinar. So I'm gonna start doing my webinar now. Gladys, just to confirm before I get started, shall we accommodate questions at the end?
Yes, we'll have some opportunity for folks to ask some questions at the end of your presentation. There's a question box on your window. Everybody who's attending, just feel free to put questions in there throughout the presentation, and we'll make sure that your questions get addressed then at the end.
Sounds good, fantastic. So yeah, Gladys, please help me get to the next page, please. Okay, so I'll start with that introduction. So so we have all been in this pandemic in the past over a year or so. While everything else is negative, but we do realize the traffic is actually much better during the pandemic. And as a transportation engineer, we do have access to a lot of data, and we are monitoring the travel trends, congestion levels every single day in the DC area, as well as in other areas as well in Maryland. So we do notice an interesting fact. In July 2020, we observed from all of our traffic sensors, counting stations, part of them provided by MDOT, and we found actually 90% of people have been already back to the road driving. However, the congestion level wasn't coming back. If you see this figure presented in this slide, on the left-hand side, we are presenting the congestion levels in July 2019, while the right-hand side figure is the traffic speed measures for an average weekday in July 2020 during the pandemic. Even though the traffic volume during the second figure, July 2020, is at about 90% level compared to the July 2019. The traffic speed, the congestion levels are actually very good. We hardly see any delays, even during the busiest morning commute period. So this is really an interesting phenomenon. Traffic were back, but the congestion didn't come back. Next slide, please. So really, this makes us to think to make a significant mitigation in traffic in a very congested area. We only need to change the driving routines of a small percentage of people. And that critical mass is not great. As shown in the previous figure, we found that 10% is good enough to mitigate almost all congestions in this busiest corridor. And that percentage can be even smaller if we're looking at other suburban rural areas. A very small percentage of people kind enough to willing to give up driving could give us that critical mass to reach significantly positive outcome in terms of fighting congestion. And again, thank you everybody for your willingness to contribute to this positive externality. I see your votes. 100% of you guys are willing to join this initiative task force to fight congestion. So let's see what we can do in Maryland via this just established platform. So moving forward, to fight this congestion using the critical mass of changing people's behavior, we still need to have some tools handy to do so. That's why we have the incenTrip platform. And the next slides, we are showing our vision and goal through a smartphone platform. Nowadays, smartphone apps are tapping into over 85–90% of US population, adult population. So it is a very well-rounded battleground for us to find out that critical mass and reach our goal. And what is our goal? We want to optimize and personalize travelers' incentives in order to promote multimodal shared mobility, that is driving with a share ride, using transit, rail systems, and also walk and bike. Then we also want to encourage off-peak travels in order to alleviate peak hour delays. Then also smart routing and driving. Alternative routes, those locations were less utilized, can also offer a great alternative. And we can together, among achieving these behavior change goals, we can achieve a reduction in congestion, energy use, and also emissions in the most cost-effective way. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, in the past several years, University of Maryland Transportation Institute, we are doing the research and development on this incenTrip concept through supports from federal US Department of Energy, US Department of Transportation, and also through local collaborations with Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, Maryland Department of Transportation, to really deploy this in the real world. So we started our official integration of incenTrip with MWCOG, Metropolitan Washington Council of Governments, back in the summer of 2019. Then now we started our pilot deployment collaboration with MDOT starting this fall. And now you should be able to search incenTrip in your Google Play or iOS App Store to find us and download this app and start using it from immediately now. And next slide, please. So in the past deployment in the DC area, we have gradually accumulated a pool of over 40,000 users and 3,000 active users. And of course, that's before the pandemic. But based on the user's usage of the app, we observe very promising, very encouraging behavior shifts from driving towards those non-driving mode shares. We observe more than 20% increase in our user pool, more and more people using our app, and they decided to initially try and later on switch to completely embracing non-driving mode of transportation. But of course, we observe downshifts after the pandemic gets started. As you see in this slides, we are marking that period using the shaded areas. But we're very confident that whenever we are ready to go back to work, to commute, the people are gonna go back and start testing other modes of transportation, given the current situation. Then next slide, please. And we have also summarized various performance measures of our system through encouraging other means of transportation other than driving. The system really reduced a lot of vehicle trips already. In this slide, we're showing In a monthly basis, we are reducing over 11,000 hours of vehicle hours traveled. That together give us a return on investment of over 20. That means $1 invested to do incentivization to change people's behavior could lead to over $20 in return in the format of reductions in congestion, travel delays, and also reduction in carbon footprint, air pollution, and emissions. So together, it is very cost-effective way of fighting congestion, and plus we don't need to do a huge investment up front. For instance, we don't need to invest in constructions or anything, but the system can start generating positive system level improvements from day one of the implementation. So next slide, please. So now we are very excited to start operating this tool in Maryland. Given the existing deployment in the DC area, we are already serving a lot of areas covering Maryland already. This map summarizes our current operations. Basically, the blue areas and the green areas are operated already. Then we are expanding this to cover all the yellow areas in Maryland, including urban, suburban, and also rural areas. And our team is working very dedicatedly to this project, operating almost 24/7 to make sure the app is working fine, even in the most rural areas. And all the incentives we're designing are also suitable for all kinds of travelers. In urban areas, whenever you have transit options to go to work, we are encouraging to do so via the incentivization. If you are a worker or commuters in the rural areas, the incentives are still available to you if you are willing to change departure time or routes towards the energy saving congestion reduction goals of the system. So in short, we hope this tool can benefit all the travelers, commuters in Maryland who travel to Maryland as well in the neighboring regions. Next slide, please. So I have a couple slides summarizing how you can start using the tool. But note that at the end of this presentation, Gladys will have also a video for you to quickly get you familiar with this tool. So it's very easy to register. As long as you are commuting to the Maryland areas, except the areas that's already been served by the MWCOG incenTrip program, you are eligible to be part of us and start to earn incentives immediately. Just fill in this registration form and click submit. You are good to go. And check in with our information in the app just to see the more detailed instructions. The next slide, please. Right. So briefly walk you through how the app works is in the app, you will have the trip planning option. So when you do your commute, you can type in your origin destination and you can search through tapping either depart now or set a departure time later. Then the system will recommend a list of options to you based on your own preference and based on the availability. And also we optimize the options according to its effectiveness in reducing congestion and also according to the number of points you could earn out of this travel. So in the example, we're showing a commute from the White Marsh area to Baltimore downtown. And we are providing options for driving. This is because most people still prefer driving, but in encouraging people to use the app with other means of transportation, we also prioritize in this page a transit option, which worth 50 points, and you can redeem into cash rewards worth up at least 50 cents. Then we also prioritize an option called multimodal, which is in this case a park and ride option to commute to Baltimore downtown area and work. Similarly, for other areas of Maryland, you will be able to find different options. Maybe in some cases, if you are commuting in a particular congested area, period of time, an alternative departure time may be recommended to you. And in some other cases, if you are traveling on a route that happens to have an accident on that day, we may also recommend an alternative route. So you will bypass that bottleneck, benefiting other people in the bottleneck already, but also earn some precious cash rewards in terms of the incentive points. Next slide, please. So at University of Maryland, our R&D research development team is making all endeavors to make sure the information are accurately provided to all the travelers in the area. So here we are showing that the MDOT real-time transit information has been integrated with incenTrip already. So if you use the tool, you should be able to see that things such as real-time bus arrival schedules are provided via all the transit options, as long as the real-time information is available to the transit route. On the right-hand side example figure, as you may see, the CityLink Silver will arrive in 22 minutes at this particular location. So these are the transit information provided to ensure the accuracy and also ensure the effectiveness of the incentive. Then if you go to the next slide, University of Maryland is also home to the biggest transportation data center in the US. Gladys, this is actually a video. If you move your mouse, you will find a play button at the bottom.
Sorry, this is actually a PDF. So
okay.
What it is, we're going to post the presentation online, and folks can watch the video post for this one.
That's also fine too.
Okay,
yeah, so this is, use your imagination. This is a visualization of all the real-time traffic data observed in the DC, Maryland suburban areas. This data set we are using, in the visualization, we are using colors to indicate the speed of each individual data provider in order to measure the real-time traffic congestion accurately. So this information is ingested by the team on a real-time basis. And in a near real-time basis, the information will be pumped into incenTrip tool. So what you see in incenTrip is powered by this big data warehouse and all the cloud computing real-time data analytics functions we have built in the past decades or so. So in a nutshell, at the University of Maryland, our researchers are doing all we could to build the backend data powerhouse to ensure the delivery and timely delivery of all the real-time traffic information, traffic delays to the individual, and also use that information to optimize the incentive allocation process. Okay, so next slide, please. All right, so most importantly, we have the reward system. The program right now integrates cash checks. People can redeem their points into cash checks. Then we also have built the PayPal option just to accommodate the needs of different users. Then after you accumulate a sufficient amount of points, you could redeem them into the corresponding cash rewards. But in a nutshell, 1,000 points could be redeemed into a $10 check or $10 PayPal transfer. Then if you accumulate more, we're also gonna give you a little perk. If you accumulate, I think it's 2,000 points, you could redeem that into $25. And also, the maximum amount of rewards right now is at the $50 mark. So this is really to reward you for really being contributing to the system, offering your willingness to help others as well, and also saving your own commute experience by changing your driving routines. Next slide, please. Yeah, so this slide, basically, I'm just summarizing our focus. It is our continuous focus. We want to improve the system through this, hopefully, long-term collaboration with MDOT. We will go ahead and further develop all the travel modes, encouraging travel mode changes, departure time shifts, and route planning for each individual traveler in the Maryland. And we will also, when we develop the tool further, we will also encourage the use of alternative means of transportation. That means we will get to know all the locally operated transit services, try to integrate them, get to know all the available options, emerging options, e-scooters, bike shares available to people. And when time goes by, we'll do our research and development effort to integrate them into this bigger ecosystem. Then non-monetary incentives, we'll try to we try to add as useful as and beyond just check rewards, cash rewards. We want to integrate other means of reward. For example, we are working with EasyPass and other transportation service providers and see if any credits or other means of rewards could be integrated. Then last but not least, we want to also improve our algorithm to really personalize the incentive to every single traveler. So we are open to all suggestions and questions while we are operating this system here. I have my contact information on the webpage, and also you guys know the MDOT people contact information. Feel free to reach out to us if you do have anything to share about your experience or any suggestions that you may have for us. Okay, so back to you, Gladys. That's my last slides. I know you have a video to show. Yeah.
Okay, great. So hopefully you enjoyed that short video. And now we have a little bit of time for some question and answers. Looks like we have one question for you, Cheng Fang. So once somebody starts using incenTrip, how long before they could cash out for that first check?
Sure. As long as you have accumulated sufficient points, you can start cashing that out. The minimum check amount right now is set at $10, which is equal to 1,000 points. Then that really depends on the commute patterns. Right now, the system assigns a smaller incentive to driving options, but a higher amount of incentives will be allocated to transit, ride sharing, walk and bike. These modes will receive a higher amount of points, which means you can accumulate your points faster to reach that 1,000 point goal. That hopefully answers your question.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, your time today, Dr. Shang, and hopefully everybody on the call enjoyed today's presentation. We will be sending out links to the presentation, and this will also be posted on the Maryland Department of Transportation YouTube. As always, Commuter Choice Maryland is here to help you with your transportation needs. So feel free to call, email, or check out our website. And if you're on LinkedIn and Facebook, give us a follow and a like. And have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thanks again, everybody.